Why the U.S. Congress cannot afford to ignore Biafran's cry now. There comes a time when a people's pain can no longer be edited to fit diplomatic language. That time is now. The Biafran question is not propaganda. It is not rumor. It is not a fringe whisper. It is the lived experience of millions from the old eastern region of Nigeria who have endured war, starvation, exclusion, political suppression, and continuous suspicion within the Nigerian state. The world may prefer comfort, but justice demands clarity. The Nigerian genocidal war on Biafra, 1967-1970, was not a minor conflict. It was a catastrophe that led to the death of over 3 million Biafrans, mostly women and children, many through starvation. Entire communities were shattered, children wasted away under blockade, families were erased. When the war ended, the slogan, "No victor, no vanquished," was declared. Yet economic policies, political arrangements, and structural imbalances left many Biafrans feeling permanently disadvantaged. That wound did not close, it hardened. The Mazi Nnamdi Kanu led Indigenous People of Biafra IPOB exists because unresolved grievances exist. IPOB calls for self-determination through a referendum, a political solution to a political question. Branding such a movement as terrorism does not erase the grievance behind it. It escalates it. The proscription of IPOB in 2017 remains one of the most controversial political actions in modern Nigerian history. Criminalizing a movement advocating self-determination transformed a political debate into a security confrontation. The life imprisonment of Nnamdi Kanu did not silence the agitation, it intensified it. To millions of Biafrans, his prosecution symbolizes something larger, the shrinking space for dissent. When political agitation is treated solely as a criminal enterprise, the message sent is clear: dialogue is closed. That is not how durable democracies behave. The Southeast remains tense. Military checkpoints dominate highways. Fear influences daily commerce. Ordinary citizens bear the weight of political confrontation. Yet beneath the tension lies a deeper issue, a region that feels unheard. For decades, Biafrans have pointed to uneven federal appointments, infrastructural neglect, and political marginalization. Whether Abuja acknowledges it or not, the perception is powerful, and perceptions shape stability. Nigeria is not a peripheral state in global affairs. It is Africa's largest economy and population center. The United States maintains strong diplomatic and security partnerships with Abuja. But with partnership comes responsibility. If the United States Congress can hold hearings on democratic standards in other regions of the world, then in Nigeria, it can examine whether due process has been fully upheld in politically sensitive cases, whether counterterrorism laws are being applied proportionately, whether avenues for peaceful political dialogue exist, whether long-standing regional grievances are being addressed constructively. This is not interference in sovereignty. It is alignment with democratic principles. History teaches a hard lesson. When peaceful political expression is narrowed, frustration intensifies. The Biafran question has survived 5 decades of suppression. That alone should signal that it is not a temporary agitation. It is a structural issue. Suppressing a demand does not dissolve it. It forces it underground. And underground grievances grow sharper. The cry of Biafra is not a call for chaos. It is a demand for dignity, fairness, and political recognition. The United States Congress does not need to take sides on territorial questions. It needs to take a stand for principles, justice, accountability, and dialogue over force. If democracy means anything, it must mean that even uncomfortable voices are heard. Now is the time to listen. Not when tensions explode, not when instability spreads, not when regret replaces action. Family Writers Press International,